Dave Ramsey doesn't know what he's talking about. This is a statement that I've heard quite often about the financial guru Dave Ramsey. His suggestions, like a 15-year mortgage, housing costs being 25% of your income, having 4 to 6 months of savings, and of course no other debt, are his key guidelines when you're buying a home. In this video, we're going to explore if this is good advice, if it's attainable, and what are some other guidelines we can use when trying to figure out if we can buy a home. First things first, is this good advice? Honestly, yes, it is good advice, I think. Because when you do a 15-year mortgage, that means you're not going to pay as much interest long term. You're going to start paying higher amounts of the principal on the loan quicker. Putting 20% down on a loan makes a lot of sense because with a conventional loan, if you put down 20% or more, you don't have mortgage insurance, therefore a smaller monthly payment. Having savings when buying a home is really important. And when Dave Ramsey is talking about the 4 to 6 months of savings, it's not just so you can buy a home. This is just savings that you have in general. And that's great to have that much savings. If something comes up, you lose your job or anything happens, having 4 to 6 months to figure things out and have a safety net makes a lot of sense to me. And then your monthly mortgage payment not exceeding 25% of your pay. That also makes sense. You don't want to be what people consider house poor. You don't want to spend 50% of your income on housing costs, which unfortunately a lot of people are right now just because of how expensive homes are. So is this all good advice? In my opinion, all this is really good advice. What do you think? Would Dave Ramsey's advice work for you? Let us know in the comments. Now, the true question, is this attainable or realistic? We're going to run down an example to figure out. The median home price is about $400,000 in the US currently. If you have a $400,000 home with a 20% down payment, which is $80,000, that will leave a mortgage principal of $320,000. That means you're getting a $320,000 loan with a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. And for the interest rate, we're going to say it's 6.6%, which is in line with what you could get right now, more or less. Your monthly payment would be approximately $2,815. Now, just a note, I'm not including property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees, things like that. Those can vary quite a bit, so I don't have those in there, but know that the price of things would actually be a little bit higher than what I'm currently presenting. Using Dave Ramsey's guidelines, your monthly pay should be at least $11,260. Now, the median household income in the US in 2022 was $74,580, leaving a monthly income of $6,215. We can see that there's a big discrepancy here. To follow Dave Ramsey's advice in this example, you'd have to make about $135,000 a year. That's considered to be just above the middle class income for a two-person household. Is Dave Ramsey's advice attainable? Not for most people. Are you ready to find the perfect place to call home? Drop by workwithdanG.com where I'll handpick a real estate agent just for you. I also have a free homebuyers course and exclusive tools like an affordability calculator. Let's make buying a home a breeze. Now let's talk about some other potential guidelines. Instead of doing 25% of your pay for your housing costs, some people might suggest 30 or even 35%. I don't think I would go much above 35%, but that's for me personally and my income. I know what I've got going on. I know what other payments I have going on. Going above 35% just doesn't make sense for me. When you're trying to figure out how much you can spend on a home, you really want to analyze your budget. See how much you're spending on things. For some people, spending 35% of their income on a home may not be that big of a deal because maybe they don't have a lot of other payments like car payments, things like that. Maybe they live frugally in a lot of aspects of their life. And for others, maybe they've got other stuff going on, student loans, car payments, whatever. Maybe 30% of your pay for housing costs makes a little bit more sense. Ultimately, this is kind of a personal decision and what you're comfortable with. 25% is great, but not very attainable when you look at the numbers. Now, as far as how many years on the mortgage you get, I think it's pretty typical for most people to choose a 30-year loan. It really comes down to affordability. Your monthly mortgage payment will be less than what a 15-year loan would be. However, long-term, you'll be paying more interest. That's why a 15-year loan is a better choice than a 30-year loan. But it's not as easy for everyone to be able to qualify for that and still get the home that you want, aka within a particular budget. Now we're going to run back the scenario by using some more potentially realistic numbers for people. Let's say you're buying the same home for $400,000, but instead of putting $80,000 down, you put down $20,000, which is 5%. The loan amount you'll get is $380,000. We'll make it a 30-year fixed rate mortgage of 6.66% interest rate. That's the same interest rate that we used before. That means your monthly payment would be $2,442 a month. Again, this is without taxes and insurance. That's a difference of about $400 a month from the Dave Ramsey example. Now, in this scenario, to comfortably afford this mortgage payment, you would need to make about $115,000 a year. If you remember in the first scenario, it was $135,000 a year. Really, at the end of the day, what this tells me, and I think it's no surprise, is that houses just aren't affordable. Is Dave Ramsey's advice inherently bad? No, I don't think it is. It's just more and more difficult to keep up with the stricter guidelines with how unaffordable the housing market has gotten. In a perfect scenario, it would be awesome to use Dave Ramsey's advice. It's just not realistic for a majority of people. By coming up with a clear plan and budget, you can determine what your ideal down payment, loan terms, and mortgage payment are. I don't believe there's a one-size-fits-all solution. If you found this video helpful, please like and comment to let me know. Thank you for watching the video to the end.